This is the best intro music right there ever.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to the
That's
Guys
still going
Review.
to get cut.
My name is Tucker. Steven is unfortunately not here this week. He's off doing
Something.
midget anal fisting or something. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But with me, as always, is Chris and Trey. Guys, say hello.
What's happening?
All right, so, guys, let's just jump right into it. Chris, how has your week been?
Oh, man, it's been a fairly busy week this week. Not really too sure what all's happened, but a lot has, I'm sure. I don't know.
Yeah, about the same.
That-
Yeah, I did stuff.
Did things.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yep.
What kind of things did you do, or can you not talk about it?
No, it worked.
Okay.
I think that's literally been it, man. Just
Yeah.
been slammed with work lately.
Yeah, like I was with Whitney over at the house, getting
What?
it ready to get it painted. Like, they got the floors done this week.
Oh, the new house.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all close on that, what, into this month?
No, we closed on
y'all-
it back in December.
Oh, shit.
Would y'all rip up
Dude,
the carpet?
I swear to God, I think
Wow,
COVID
baby.
brain is a thing, which is what my week has basically been. I was
Wow, congrats! You're as smart as a pregnant woman.
sick with COVID and had like a 5-day vacation. But guys, I have been just exhausted.
Who would have thought COVID would help you grow hair?
Thanks, I guess. I'm not really sure how to take that.
It's a statement of fact.
It's like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, take it as you will.
Well, I guess I appreciate that. Anyway, moving on.
Did your herpes clear up?
Yes, they did.
Good.
And the hepatitis is getting better too.
Awesome.
I lost the C's and now I just have A and B.
Sweet.
Right? I know, it's cool. So we do have some fan mail this week. Stephen forwarded me this. It is from Swedish Marcus.
Swedish.
Shocker.
Are you
He
sure?
listened to the episode last week. He said, "Hey now, Stephen, y'all might not know this or know it, but I started boxing when I was 14 and stopped when I was 19. So sure, I will take you on. In the gym, I was the only heavyweight. So Stephen, you better learn how to stand on stilts so we can see eye to eye."
That's funny because I picture Mark as being like 4 feet tall as well. Him and Steven are on even grounds in my eyes.
Well, you got dwarfs and midgets.
He's
Dwarfs
like
are
a-
usually
he's like a
dwarfs
garden
are
gnome.
usually a little bit taller. So
Really? Is that how that works?
that's how I'm calling it.
I figured George just got to bang normal sized chicks.
Tucker, Jeff's brisket looks much better. Fuck you, Marcus. And here's the question that he has this week.
See, I like he just goes after you and Steven. Like, he respects Chris and I.
I have no idea why. I can't fathom that.
Why?
Oh, I don't know, because maybe you say fuck you to every person on this podcast.
I have never said that to Marcus. I respect him. I would treat him better than a woman, even though he's Polish.
He's Swedish, you dick.
Same thing.
And then he asks, would you rather have your fingernail or toenails pulled out slowly, or every time you have sex, you see your parents in the corner judging you?
I remove my own ingrown toenail, so like that's nothing new.
Removing an ingrown toenail is not quite the same as having it pulled out.
No, it's the fucking same because it's the shit that's inside the skin. I peel the skin back with like a pair of tweezers and like fucking go in and get it.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, hardcore.
Here's the thing. Would you only have it done one time, or would it just be like whenever they grow back, they get pulled out again? Because if that's the case, I'm going to say parents in the corner judging you because, fuck it. But repeatedly having your fingernails or toenails ripped out would be fucking
here's the thing.
horrible.
Like those times when you were like hanging out with your uncle, like was your mom watching from the corner anyway?
I was trying to figure out a way to tie that in.
Do not encourage him.
I couldn't figure out a way to tie that in, man. That's a good way.
When I was in high school, my mom walked in on me having sex.
Yeah, that's happened.
fucking
I'm
happened.
going to regret this. What happened?
She said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I said, because it was like 8:30. She had a job she should have been at.
Did you tell her you were balls deep and to go away?
I think she walked away, left the door open, so that sort of killed everything that was happening.
Let me ask you, did it only happen once?
It did. It only happened once.
See, not me.
Your parents cost you more than once?
Yeah.
What?
It did. You think they would learn from the first time, you know?
You would think you would learn not to do it, not to fuck at your house.
You're in high school. Where are you going to do it at?
Yeah.
Your car in a field on a dirt road.
No, we're classy, dude. We gave the ladies a bed.
Yeah.
Have a truck and a sleeping bag.
Okay, what if you
That's
didn't have a
romantic.
truck? I had a Ford Mustang.
All right, just because like your uncle ruined your bed for you doesn't mean like other people don't want to fuck in theirs.
That's not a comfortable spot to be doing that at. Is in a Ford Mustang.
I'm assuming. So first of all, I want to ask this: was it a stick shift or an automatic?
It was a stick.
So she had to climb over the console and get on top, or did you try to find a way to
just
do it
have
in
to
the
do it
back
in the
seat?
back seat. But that's still
How?
uncomfortable.
How are you fucking in the back seat of
Yeah.
a Ford Mustang?
Not well.
That's
That's,
what I'm
why we
saying.
did it
I
at the house.
don't. Right? That's why you don't. It was, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and most of your sex happened at your house too, because like
that's-
your sister was there.
That's talent. I'm just going to ignore that. That's talent, Chris.
What's that?
Fucking in the back seat of a Mustang.
I didn't say I did. You're just assuming I did. I said.
I mean, I'll say
said
it.
didn't
I
have
would
a
do your
truck.
sister.
So wait, did you fuck in your Mustang?
No. No.
I think we're glossing over a very important fact here. Your sister's hot. I'd give her 2 fingers in the butt.
Right back at your sister, buddy.
Okay, my sister has a mustache.
Wouldn't be the first time for him.
Your sister getting a dirty Sanchez is not the same as her having a mustache.
No, okay.
This is coming from a guy with experience
It's fair.
with the mustache.
So we're just gonna move on.
I'm talking about his uncle. If you didn't know,
We're just gonna move on from this. The
Did his mustache tickle the back of your neck?
Chris, what movie are we reviewing this week?
we are
It's your
doing
movie.
the Karate Kid,
Okay.
the original one, 1984.
Yep. So the original Karate Kid is a 1984 American martial arts drama written by Robert Mark Kamen and directed by John G. Alvinson. It's the first installment in the Karate Kid trilogy. It was released June 22nd, 1984 on a budget of $8 million, which is roughly $21,466,000 today, and had a box office haul of $131.1 million, which comes out to $351,789,000 today. So it was a successful movie.
That doesn't seem like a very big inflation
Here's something
Inflation
cool.
calculator that I found.
from early 80s to like now.
So the second Karate
It's
Kid.
double, more than double,
I mean, it's like
almost
3
triple,
times. Yeah.
almost triple.
Here's-
Just seems
wait,
like
hold
it'd be
on.
bigger.
Something pretty cool. The second Karate Kid also came out in June the 20 something of 1986.
Was it 2 years later?
Yeah, 2
I don't
years
re-
later
Okay,
in June also.
almost like they planned it.
Yeah.
Guys, first time you saw the movie.
But that would make sense because then we sat there and said that the second one takes place right after the first
Oh
one.
wait! I'm sorry, I forgot to do the IMDb and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was a kid. I don't know.
IMDb gives it 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it 89%. Metacritic gives it 60%. And Google users, guys.
86.
I'm going to go with 82.
Trey Winston, it was 92% according to
Wow.
Google users. This is a loved movie.
Well, that's because Google users probably needed a lot of karate growing up to protect themselves.
I'm sure with the show coming out, it probably got a lot more.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. Which
First-
is true. I have to give it that. With the show coming out, it did make this movie better.
But
First
doesn't
time you guys saw it. I know you.
So I'm going to go on a limb. I know I saw it when I was younger. I would say when I was young, we went to go see the second one at the movie theaters, and it was me and like a bunch of my friends and my brother's friends and all. We loaded up in the back of the station wagon and went to go see it. I don't really remember seeing the second movie, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the first time I saw it would have been we had a beta machine. Yeah, so we had a video rental store. I guess a beta rental store is what you call it, right?
You run a Betamax as well.
Yeah. So we had one of those down the street from us, and we rented the movie out and watched it before we went to go see the second one.
Little side note. You know why VHS won out over Betamax?
I don't know, but this doesn't sound interesting.
Hold on. Well, let's see. They were still using the Betamax they're still using beta format to record movies out of Hollywood, right?
Oh.
Nope. VHS won out over Betamax because the porn industry got behind VHS. they started releasing.
It got more interesting. I stand corrected.
And my dad always said the beta was a better machine than the VHS.
Well, not according to Linda Lovelace.
They could probably produce it faster.
Trey, first time you saw it, buddy.
That was good. I don't know.
That stuck out with you that much.
Yeah, I didn't like it then either. It's a shitty movie.
All right, we already got his ranking.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, in what world is a white belt going to fucking beat a black belt?
No, he was a black belt when he went to the tournament. But we'll get into that.
No, here's the thing. At the beginning of the movie, it was September, and then the tournament's in December.
Wait,
Who becomes a black belt?
Belt does not matter.
Yeah.
It's all in head and in heart.
Yes, but here's the thing. Who's going to learn how to beat a fucking person who's been doing this shit for years in like 3 months?
We'll get to that in a second.
No.
We'll discuss this in a second.
No.
What?
You know it's not real.
First time I saw it, I know I was a kid. I was 5 or 6, and it was on cable TV. And this movie and
I bet you fucking loved it. So
I did love it. This movie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is what started my love for martial arts.
You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is more based on a real story than this one.
Did you guys watch
Because no white belt's going to beat a fucking black belt in 3 months of training.
Did you guys ever watch
After
the
learning how to-
cartoons?
Do what?
Did you guys ever watch the cartoons, the animated series?
Karate
Fuck
Kid
yeah.
animated series? Mm-hmm. I played the video game on
Not the same.
NES.
That wasn't the same.
The video game fucking sucked.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Like the movie.
Didn't you have to catch flies in that in the game? I know you had to break wood.
You had the ice. You had to break the ice.
Ice, that's what it was. I think you had to catch flies
Well,
too.
but it was only like 4 or 5 levels long. I mean, it was a very short game.
Yeah.
You know, it was a very good game. Best of the best.
You mean the movie?
No, fucking game.
What the fuck was that?
Super Nintendo.
They had best of the best. I didn't know that.
Like a karate game?
I know they had like the. I know that they did.
Like based on the movie?
Like, yeah, you did like a thing, and then like you fight in a kumite. Like it mixed the things, but like it was fucking fun little game.
I don't remember that game. Wow. Okay. I remember the movie. The movie's good.
Yeah, movie was pretty good.
Well, Chris, since it's your movie, are you going to do the
Struggle. I'm gonna tell you that right now, but I'm gonna do it.
No shit.
Told you.
I believed you. I just know I don't remember it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, just jump into it, buddy.
Wait, listen. I'm reading this word for word from the thing. Okay, so
So
bear.
you didn't write.
Bear
this.
with them.
You
I didn't write this.
Have you read it before right now?
Sure.
He's still reading it right now.
I'm reading it right now.
Why did your drink look like you peed in a bottle?
This?
Yeah.
He drinks his
I'm
own
not
urine
drinking-
because it's sterile and he enjoys the taste.
I'm not drinking sodas right now. So it's a Crystal Light flavoring pack
Okay.
with caffeine in it.
I didn't
so
know
can
they
go
had
juice.
caffeine flavored urine.
Now,
Or
if you,
urine flavored caffeine.
No, you're right. There you go.
the Crystal Light Strawberry has caffeine in it, fucking awesome.
This has caffeine in it too. This is
I
peach
am-
mango.
Yeah, but that looks disgusting.
I like
I mean-
peach, so I'm a huge fan of peach flavored stuff.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we didn't talk
I like
about who this movie
peach
stars.
rings. Those
Shit.
are good.
I
Those are
left something
delicious.
out.
That's fucking gross.
I left out who this movie stars. I'll run at that real quick. This movie stars Ralph Macchio, Noriyuki,
Fucking
Pat
loser.
Morita. I know, right? It's almost like I never do this part.
Yeah, Billy Zabka.
Elizabeth Shue,
Billy
William
Zabka.
Zabka, William Zabka,
Billy Zabka.
Martin Cove, and Randy
Billy.
Heller.
LR. And it's got McQueen's son in it from all the beach movies.
Yep. All right, so Chris, go ahead and jump into your synopsis, buddy. Before I fuck this up any worse.
All right, so I'm reading what we're in. All right, in September 1984, Daniel LaRusso, a 17-year-old boy who moves from New York, New Jersey.
Hang on, what?
Newark.
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 It's one word, not two words.
Newark.
Hey, Jersey to Los Angeles, California. After his widow mom.
Oh shit, she was a widow?
Mm-hmm. Secures a new job before Daniel starts his senior year in high school. Daniel's unhappy at having to move, making new friends, and leave his old friends behind. But he promises his mom he'll do his best to make a new life in California. Daniel immediately finds a new friend, Freddie Fernandez, at the apartment complex after accidentally knocking Freddie over when Daniel kicked open the complex door in a karate fashion. When the faucet at the new apartment breaks, Daniel goes out to find the maintenance man, Mr. Miyagi, who is attempting to catch a fly with chopsticks. He seems annoyed at being interrupted, but assures he will get the job done. Freddie invites Daniel to a beach party where he notices a beautiful blonde teenager, Allie, high school cheerleader, as the sun goes down. Local troublemakers Johnny and his buddies Tommy, Dutch, Jimmy, and Bobby crash the party with their motorcycles. After circling around the bonfire a few times, Johnny dismounts and argues with Allie, revealing that he is her ex-boyfriend. He destroys her stereo, prompting Daniel to stand up to him and quickly gets his butt kicked by him, leaving Daniel with a black eye. Daniel is humiliated and refuses Allie's help when she seems concerned. He attempts to hide the eye injured by injury from his mom wearing sunglasses to school. When this fails, he lies to his mom and tells her that he fell off a bike and travels on his way to school. Daniel receives further humiliation while playing soccer at high school when Bobby slide tackles Daniel, prompting Daniel to tackle him to the ground and punch him in the face, which gets him expelled from the field. Allie watches this from a distance with concern as she and her fellow cheerleaders practice. End of the first part.
Wow, that's shit. You just went through a lot of it.
I did, didn't I?
This is pretty unrealistic because no single mom's going to be raising the son like that without like a string of like deadbeat like future stepfathers coming through there, like beating on both of them.
Do you know this from experience?
No, my parents are still married.
Wait, they just got into town.
All right, so
Still early, but I mean, like usually, drunk stepdad beating you, not the neighborhood bully.
So the very beginning of this movie,
Yeah.
Is it just something about the 80s movies in general? They always have this little montage of somebody, like when they're moving or traveling, they have this little montage where you see them.
That's 5 minutes of the movie they could have left out.
Yeah, that
Pointless.
did absolutely nothing. It didn't develop the story or develop the characters. It just showed them driving across country.
Yeah, I mean, well, even at the very beginning, you don't really know anything. All you hear is people talking. They get in the car, and they're in the car and they leave. That whole first part, it could have just started off straight from. What was the place? The
apartment complex.
The
They could have literally started as with them pulling up to the apartment complex and explained everything there. Mom got a new job. They're now living in California, and you just saved 10 minutes on the movie, which it's already got a pretty long runtime, isn't it? Close to 2 hours.
It's just over 2 hours now.
Yeah, so you could have cut this movie down to an hour and
20 minutes,
50 minutes right there.
An hour and 20 minutes would have been perfect.
You could have left that montage out, and you could have went through later on in the movie the montage of him, sanding and all that other stuff, doing that part.
But then they could have thrown in like the deleted scene of him like finger banging Elizabeth Shue. Would have made it better.
I mean, he's not wrong.
So
he's really not wrong.
You've already mentioned Allie and Johnny and everybody on the beach. So these kids are supposed to be, 15, 16 years old?
They're seniors in high school.
Yeah, senior year.
So they're 18.
Senior year.
Yeah.
Daniel's not because he just got his driver's license.
No, it's his senior year.
He's 15. Because he didn't get his driver's license until later on. So he's 15.
Maybe not.
So
Maybe
we assume that that's the driving age. Starting driving age.
Like, here's the thing. Like, what if he just didn't get his license for a minute because he was rocking that bicycle?
Well, he was in New Jersey. Did he really need? He may not need a driver's
and when you
license.
look at that scene from New Jersey, like all of them were backing in to their spots. Like, he might have failed that driving test.
But he may not. Again, he may not need a driver's license in New Jersey. Were you 16 when you got your license?
Yes.
You were 16 exactly. What about you? Were you 16?
I mean, it was a couple of months, but I was 16.
It's funny because like I think I waited a couple months like after 16 to get my license, but like I was driving my car like when I needed to.
See, mine's different. I was almost 18.
Yeah, you elitist ableist fuck.
Fucking normal though.
Oh, there's several people.
Wow.
I work with a guy.
Why are you attacking Chris for being special?
I work with a guy who he still doesn't have his license. He's 21.
Yeah, but he's a little special needs.
But
though.
wait,
Is he special needs or
no? He graduated from high school and went straight into the military.
Yeah, you're talking about Eddie though, who like takes the boxes out, and y'all don't let him actually cook anything.
He does take the boxes out.
do y'all call him
His name's not Eddie.
Do y'all call him Special Ed for short?
No, his name's not Eddie. But he I guess he just had no need for a license, and now he's out of the military, and he's like, I guess I need to get he got done with his basic training stuff, and
Yeah, went off to war.
But getting ready to start off for college.
Same thing.
He didn't really. He pretty much got. He was telling me about it all. He got pretty much. Basic training was through COVID during that time, so he didn't really do anything
wait,
at all.
Is he military or is he reserves?
He was in the military.
Like active duty or reserves?
No, he's no longer in the military.
So he failed out.
He's special needs.
Oh, that's right. His name is Special Ed.
I mean, like they lowered the bar and like he still couldn't get over it.
Yeah, don't you get so many points in the ASVAB for signing your name right?
I think he left. I don't know, but I think he left because of the fact of like
AWOL?
No.
No, like invited not to come back.
But I'm pretty sure that he probably left. I think he was going into the Coast Guards. That's what he was going to go into.
Okay.
His full story, I don't know. So
Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense.
I kind of don't want it when somebody's no longer like in the military, like kind of just left. I kind of don't want to know the whole story because I'm pretty sure I'm not really going to get the full story.
All right, so let me ask you a question. When they show up at the apartment for the first time and they're unloading everything out of the car and he gets his bike and everything, what normal fucking person is going to kick open a gate? I'm just saying.
Well, he's an angry kid from New Jersey.
What
Like that's why he
normal-
came in and started bullying like that poor kid, like Billy Zabka.
We're
So,
gonna,
but I mean,
What
that's the
normal
thing
person?
about the Karate Kid franchise is that like they try to make you believe that everybody does karate, you know?
Yeah,
Like
It
even
was
in
the
even
80s.
in the movies now, like nobody does karate now, not really, you know. And they try to make it seem like everybody gets in a fight in high school are doing karate, you know.
well, that's the series. The Cobra Kai series on Netflix is really paying homage to the 80s karate movies.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job with it, I think. But
I will say that I mean, this is what I took karate whenever I was a kid. I took Taekwondo, and
I took karate.
How long did it take y'all to get black belt? Not 3 months.
no, I didn't ever get up to that level. I got to purple, I think it was, and that was it.
Like
It was either purple or blue.
3 years?
3 years before they gave you a fake belt. There's no way you knew everything you needed to know to be a black belt in 3 years.
I mean, I'm not going to
Like,
argue with you.
I mean, because like think about how long you've done jujitsu. Like,
Oh, you're absolutely
like
right.
You're at least earning your stripes.
Oh, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
there's a difference in...
There's difference though, jiu-jitsu and karate though. I mean,
There's a huge difference.
karate is just. I'll be honest. To me, it was just about
Karate...
somebody teaching you to get money. That's it. Like,
That's,
they didn't
yes.
care
Well,
about nothing else.
No,
but
it's
getting money.
it's teaching you discipline. It's teaching you respect. It's teaching you good habits. But you're
while
not
inflating your fighting abilities.
you're not going to win a fight
Yeah.
doing karate.
You're not going to win a fight doing those little dances that they're having you do.
But
you know what I'm talking
that's
about?
what I'm saying. You're talking about katas.
Yeah.
You're not. You're right. You're not.
Nobody's going to
When
just
you
sit
get
there and
into-
watch
when
you
you
just
get
like
into-
walk around in circles and go, ah! You know?
when you get into more realistic fighting martial arts like boxing and Muay Thai and kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, that's stuff that can actually make a difference in a fight.
Karate's more like a performing arts thing.
That's actually not bad.
I wish Steven
mean,
was here.
you can use certain things they teach you in karate and taekwondo to supplement, but if that's all you're relying on, you put a taekwondo black belt, one of these McDojo black belts up against a high school wrestler, that high school wrestler's going to beat the living shit out of him 9 times out of 10.
I don't even think
if
it's
not
just
more.
them. I think it's probably going to be like you put them against like a defensive line guy or offensive line guy in football. He's
Well,
probably going to beat the crap out of
the
them
reason
too.
the reason I say a wrestler is because you got your taekwondo guy that's going to stand there and
he
gonna,
wants to stand up versus
yeah, the wrestler's going to come in, change levels, go for a double leg, get him on the ground, and
it's over. He ain't getting
yeah,
up.
You're fucked. As a matter of fact, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube where it shows like taekwondo guys wanting to fight jiu-jitsu guys and wrestlers, and it doesn't go very well for them.
Again, it's just a performing arts thing. Like that's
But-
really it. It's just to
All right.
show that
Well,
you
see-
can do this little dance out there on the floor.
Yeah, it's why I wish Steven was here because I would love to know what the official martial art of Germany is.
Oh, jeez.
Oh shit! Oh man! I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Hey, we should sort of make this into another shit on Steven episode too. Like we could do both.
I mean, we do
I think,
that
I think
anyway.
Steven is definitely like the pre Mr. Miyagi Daniel LaRusso. I think I can totally see it.
Do you think Steven did any karate back in the day? No, he didn't, did he?
So, I did have a question for you guys, and I want to ask this at the end. Don't lose that train of thought, though, because that ties into my question later.
Shit, you better ask it now.
You forgot to name out the actors that are going to be in the movie.
Let's talk about Let's talk about the beach scene for a second, especially the fight scene that you've alluded to already, Trey, where Johnny comes in and him and Daniel have their first.
Well, here's the thing: like
he teaches Allie some ball skills.
He did. I think she already had them.
Yeah, I think so too. She showed it pretty good at the little soccer practice or tryouts or whatever it was.
But like it was just funny though. Like that fight on the beach was so bad, so bad. Who's going to win a fight just tripping somebody? Who's going to keep running at you and like tripping over your leg?
But this comes down to
it wasn't even like a full on sweep. He's like running through like his back leg.
Yeah, it was a trip.
So this comes down to a thing
That's all it was.
where people
who loses a fight like that and then lays on the ground.
Well, no. So I will say this.
Yes.
I get where you're going with saying Daniel started it, but really and truly,
he kind of did.
He did not de-escalate it, but Johnny started that.
No, Johnny was trying to talk to his ex-girlfriend. And everyone knows you don't interrupt,
Daniel just met Allie. He doesn't know that Johnny is the ex.
He doesn't know the history there. Mm-hmm. He's brand new, so he gets a pass on that. Johnny instigated it when he shoved the radio. Yes.
No.
When he shoved the radio into Daniel and knocked him down, he instigated it.
No.
Daniel could have just walked away.
Yeah, he should have walked away.
He could have.
He was already outnumbered.
Would have saved him that embarrassment.
But
like it lost him his only friend in town.
Freddie?
Yeah. Freddie just he's like, fuck that.
I mean, Johnny did kind of work him over there at the end.
Only slightly.
I mean, but he was trying.
Kind of.
But the thing is, he didn't come out like just full on like doing it. He asked him to stop, asked him to stay out of it. Daniel wouldn't take no for an answer.
So instead of just being the crap right out of him and all, he was just like, look, I'm just going to knock you down, get you out of the way so you'll know to not mess with me. And then he insisted. So he was like, okay, I got to prove a point to you now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those things, and they cover this a lot more in the Cobra Kai series. This is where one of them should have used words instead of, I don't know.
Johnny did. He told him to stay out of it.
Mm-hmm. That whole thing could have been resolved a little bit better by Johnny saying something to the effect of, hey, this is my girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. We're trying to talk. Mind your own damn business.
How weird is it that the Cobra Kai series like emerged from like the How I Met Your Mother like version that Barney tells?
I never seen How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, he basically says like that Billy Zabka was like the good guy.
Oh, there's like a 7-minute YouTube video about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the bad guy.
Exactly.
Really.
He was the good guy, and like Daniel was the bad guy.
Daniel is the bad guy.
He's a bully.
He tried. That's what he was trying to flex because he was like, "I'm from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you California boys what I can do to y'all." Mm-hmm. And then he got his butt handed to him.
I don't see it like that.
And he was too dumb to know that.
You don't see that did he not get his butt handed to him?
He did get his ass beat.
Okay, so he tried to bow up and act all big and bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was trying more to be a knight in shining armor kind of thing there.
But then like the Halloween dance, like
we're not there yet.
Well, hang on, he's taking his shit.
You're ripping this straight off of that YouTube video I mentioned.
He's taking his shit, and like this kid's gonna like come in there and like turn a water hose on you. Like,
he's not taking his shit. He's rolling a doobie in there.
Well, they had already.
He's taking the shit too.
They had already knocked him down. This was after they had knocked him down a hill on his bike and could have killed him. By the way.
Huh? No, this is before that.
No, this was after that.
This was after that. You're right.
This was before that.
Let him get on with his.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Synopsis.
Like, if you're taking a shit in peace, you want to be left alone.
First of all, he wasn't taking a shit. He was rolling a doobie. There's a difference.
He was getting it ready.
He was getting it ready, but he also has his pants down. I'm just saying.
No, he didn't.
Could have. And then like, what's up with all these people like peeking over the stall? Like that's just violating like bathroom etiquette.
Go ahead, Chris.
Like who wants like?
All right, let's try to get to this. Okay.
You want somebody looking at you like while you're like your most vulnerable state, just like looking up, like hands on your knees, like taking a shit, squeezing one out.
Doesn't your dog make eye contact with you?
He never looked up. And I'm sorry, it's like that. You make a valid point with that. Like somebody, you're going to notice it's not that big of an area. You're gonna catch that out of the corner of your eye. Somebody doing something,
and just thinking, man, I'm just taking my shit and rolling my doobie, and like then here comes somebody like peeking over. Like
he was listening to his headphones. There's a very good chance that he was looking down and wasn't paying attention.
I wonder what he was listening to. What do you think he was listening to? White Snake?
Ooh, I don't know. I think
Poison. Well, that's A4.
Maybe some Rat.
It's
Cruel Summer.
Bananarama.
He was listening to Skid Row.
I want to say he was listening to some Meatloaf. Let's pay homage to Meatloaf.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. At work yesterday, everybody was talking about that. The guy had like 2.5 good songs.
Yeah, is Bad Out of Hell is like one of the top 10 selling albums, isn't it?
I understand that.
It is.
But still, he had like 2.5 good songs.
I'll give you that. I mean, there's some artists that are like that. Just have a couple of good songs, and they become known for,
Like Cher. I'm waiting for her to go.
Like Beyonce. She fucking sucks.
She's not my cup of tea.
All right. Keep going.
All right. All right. Although Daniel has some basic knowledge of martial arts through a YMCA self-defense class, he decides he needs a refresher. While he exercises, Mr. Miyagi comes in to fix the sink and comments on Daniel's attempt to learn from a book. He also inquires how Daniel could fall off a bicycle without sustaining any injury to his arm. When Daniel meets his mom for dinner,
no hurt the hand.
When Daniel meets his mom for dinner, he notices a karate school across the street, the Cobra Kai Dojo. He decides to go across the street and check it out while his mom is getting ready for the shift. All right. We then meet the dojo sensei, John Kreese, sorry, where he's running a kind of like a boot camp type of operation there.
Well, you figure out that gym is not really about the peaceful way very quickly, because they talk about, strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Yeah. All right.
So that's a hell of a saying.
Daniel decides to sit down and take in the class and all when he notices Johnny, Tommy, and Bobby amongst the students and nervously leaves the place. All right. While riding home that night on his bicycle, Johnny and his friends sideswipe Daniel on their motorcycles, causing him to fall down the hill next to him. Daniel is mildly injured, but more scared and humiliated arriving home. Daniel's mom sees him tossing his wrecked bike into the dumpster. He was very angry. Sorry, having a moment here.
Choking you
You
up?
getting that emotional?
I know, right? Daniel's angry at how his life is going and how things are just not working out so well. He tells his mom that he wants to move back to New Jersey. As they walk towards the apartment, Mr. Miyagi emerges from his workshop, having heard their conversation. Stop right there.
So, yeah. Tell me about how Daniel started it when they fucking ran him off the road and could have killed him down that hill.
He came inside their dojo
To learn the way of defense.
You don't
after he got his
invade-
ass beat on the beach.
You don't invade another man's dojo.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't. He went in there to sign up for class or to
He was
check out.
in their neck of the woods.
He didn't know that. It was like his
Well-
second day there, third day there.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to be territorial animals, and you got to
And-
be like, "Hey, this is my area. Get away."
But here's the thing, though. How did they force him off the hill when they were just riding their motorcycles, peacefully?
They came up on him and forced him off the side.
I mean,
of the
I'm with
road.
you. It looked like Daniel was trying to take up most of the road and not giving leeway to them. So they were.
Here's the thing. When they came up, like, they split him. Like, so it was 2 and 2. So
They didn't split him.
They did. Like, it was not all 4 of them, like, in a row right there and just sort of, like, pushed him off. That's not how that worked.
I
Like,
don't think they
it was
really
like-
touched him, did they?
No, they were on each side. And, like,
They
Daniel,
forced him off.
No, because the other guys were on the
He could have stopped the
outside
bike.
row.
They were behind him
Okay, so how did they force him off then?
because one of them grabbed his damn handlebar and then he
Listen,
went off
I
the.
don't remember seeing
I
that.
think I think so.
No, he didn't. Daniel is a slower traffic. He should have pulled over and let them pass.
Should have yielded.
Right, but he was being a jerk and crowding up the road and all. So they had to sit there and be like, "Well, I mean, we're just going to go around him." It looked like they were going
Yeah,
around.
that's
him to me.
why they said don't think about the pain before they pushed him down the hill.
No, I think it was the pain of the embarrassment from where he got
yeah,
beat up
yeah,
in front of that
yeah,
girl that he was
it's-
trying to steal from.
They were
That's
trying.
what
They,
it was.
they were trying to teach him a lesson from the dojo about not yielding to the pain
Mhm.
in life.
I mean, gave him a free lesson. Like, shit.
yeah.
It's costing those kids, like $50 a week or whatever.
Now, this is 1984. It was probably like $25 a month.
I bet it was more than that.
Nah, this is 1984.
I mean-
It's probably like $25 a month.
Nah, not at that dojo, man. Like, that's where winners go.
Yeah, that is where winners go, man. I mean, Johnny had done won it a couple of times already, right?
Exactly.
2-time, right?
Yeah, he was a
2-time All Valley.
yeah.
Yeah.
This would have been his third.
Yeah, well, it should have been.
He was going for the 3-peat
We won't talk- we'll talk about that later.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
with that illegal kick.
We'll get to that.
All right. So the next day, Daniel finds his bike out of the dumpster and repaired. He goes to Mr. Miyagi's workshop and finds out that Mr. Miyagi had done repaired it for him. Mr. Miyagi is also pruning a bonsai tree and invites Daniel to try it out. Daniel's Daniel's reserved by it, but he decides to go. But Mr. Miyagi convinces him that it's a very relaxing hobby. Mr. Miyagi also shares some of his personal history with Daniel. He learns about pruning bonsai trees from his father while living in the home in Okinawa, Japan. All right. That's pretty much it right there. His mom comes down and gets him up there, and he goes back.
So you know those little trees, if you get an actual Japanese bonsai tree,
Bonsai.
that's two different words.
No, you are.
Anyway.
You're two different words.
Anyway, those little trees, if you get an actual authentic Japanese bonsai tree, they're like 30 or 40 grand.
Do what? Go fuck yourself.
Seriously, look it up online. I was looking it up last night doing research.
Okay, research.
Authentic Japanese bonsai trees are fucking expensive.
Okay. Let's keep going.
I'm not
While
talking
he's
about the
looking that
ones
up.
that you get at
Boom,
damn.
$21.99 Amazon.
Yeah, that's not real.
$19.99 bonsai
Yeah, because it's got to
starter.
get imported, doesn't it? I don't know. Is it getting imported or is it grown somewhere around here? I'm sure it's grown.
I can go to
somewhere around here.
Lowe's. Let's see how much Lowe's is going to charge me for a bonsai tree. $27.98. Go fuck yourself.
There you go.
That's pretty authentic, Lowe's.
That's where I'm going for all my outdoor needs. Lowe's, we're looking for sponsorship.
$18,000.
That's not a bonsai. That's a ficus retusa. Shit, it's like you can't read either.
All right.
Well, the point is, you get a real one from Japan, they're fucking expensive.
All right, so we're going to go on. So we see Allie and Johnny in the school gymnasium getting ready for the upcoming Halloween dance, decorating it up. Daniel, however, has chosen not to attend. When Mr. Miyagi asks him why, Daniel says he doesn't have a costume. Mr. Miyagi also senses that Daniel lacks confidence in himself and fashions a costume for Daniel consisting of a shower head and a curtain. Daniel arrives at the school and meets with Allie, dancing briefly with her. A prankster at the dance smashes a raw egg on Daniel's head, and he goes to the bathroom to clean up. Johnny is in one of the stalls dressed like a skeleton, along with his Cobra Kai friends, and rolling a joint. Daniel pulls a revenge plot by placing a hose over Johnny and turning on the water to douse his enemy. Johnny rushes out of the bathroom after Daniel. Allie briefly stalls him by tripping Johnny and spilling all the other Cobra Kais to the floor. Daniel rushes out of the school and nearly makes it over the fence at his home when the Cobra Kais catch up with him and begin to beat him seriously. Yelling about how enemies deserve no mercy, Johnny winds up for a brutal kick and misses when Mr. Miyagi climbs over the fence and pushes Daniel out of the way. The Cobra Kais tried to take on Mr. Miyagi, who easily defeats them, including Johnny, leaving them all on the ground and withering in pain. Mr. Miyagi takes Daniel to his workshop and places a medicine bandana on his head and gives him strong tea to drink. Daniel is amazed that an older man is skilled in karate and asks Mr. Miyagi to teach him. Mr. Miyagi suspects that the Cobra Kai's problem is not their own doing, but their sensei's doing. Mr. Miyagi suggests that he and Daniel talk to their sensei. Daniel refuses, thinking he'll be beaten again. Mr. Miyagi is reluctant to get involved, but agrees to teach Daniel and also agrees to go with him to the Cobra Kai dojo and speak with the sensei. Yeah.
Nice.
So, how about the foreshadowing of the shower curtain? So, at the school dance, that's what we were talking about a little while ago, about the hose and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I saw a lot of hoes at school dances way back when.
Ain't that the truth? Hell, I saw a lot of them watching the basketball game today.
I could imagine.
man, that was a crazy game. Great game.
It was a
All
good
right.
game.
All right, we'll just keep going then. All right, at the Cobra Kai dojo.
Well, no. So let's talk about that for a
Okay.
second because he does
Okay.
cause a fucking like 4-car pileup in the parking lot.
Yeah, he does, and he just flees the scene. He's a
Well,
bad kid.
He's about to get his ass beat by 4 or 5 people, so I don't blame him for running.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
Is there not?
That was an unprovoked attack on Johnny. Can you acknowledge that?
No, it wasn't. They had ran him off a road down the fucking.
What did they do to him that night? What did they do to him that night that warranted spraying a kid with like toxic like wastewater from the fucking like bathroom?
It was from a fucking hose from a damn faucet. It wasn't
all right,
toxic wastewater.
You didn't go to a public high school, so you don't understand. Chris,
that was the mop sink.
Yeah.
So that hose could have been sitting in anything, and it could have like some type of fungus or bacteria buildup in that hose.
Your pipes,
And whenever
pipes at the house could have fungus or bacteria built up in them too.
Yeah.
It's no different.
But this is very.
But I got a filter on
You
my
didn't,
water.
but you didn't go to a public high
he
school.
got
You don't
wet.
understand how dirty like the sinks were.
Johnny
there's a
got
difference.
wet.
You don't.
Does that warrant 5 people beating
That
the shit out
hose,
of a kid?
that hose laying in the sink did
And
not
first
have
of all,
it.
5 people didn't beat the shit out of that kid. It was like 2. The other 3 were watching.
We're helping.
They were standing there
They're
cheering.
like
them on.
cheerleaders, yeah.
But then those minors got attacked by this grown ass man.
Yeah.
Like, he's lucky he didn't catch a lawsuit and get deported.
Yes, a Medal of Honor recipient getting deported.
I
he
mean-
came to the defense of somebody, so he's perfectly fine there legally.
I don't know.
That was a kind of a weak little chop there to,
Would you text him?
he did say F you, Trey.
Yeah.
No, I didn't text him.
What the fuck?
I didn't get anything.
Did you text him?
I don't know.
Is that in our group?
Yeah.
So apparently Stevens.
Is he connected to this?
I just got it. He just said, "Fuck you, Trey."
Yeah, I don't know what I did.
I'm trying to find out.
All right, well. So anyways, he jumps him on her.
That's fucking random. I guess he's just channeling his inner you.
He probably figures this is about the time and all whenever Trey's done said something about
Goes off the rails,
Maybe, but like, that's unwarranted.
and it's all caps too.
I know.
You think it's because he's an angry little midget?
Maybe. I wonder what happened.
I have no fucking clue.
I don't know. All right, we want to go on to the next day or not?
Yeah, keep going.
All right. At the Cobra Kai dojo next day, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi watches Kreese's lectures to his students that an opponent is also the enemy and deserves no mercy. When Johnny notices that Daniel and Mr. Miyagi are in the dojo, Kreese interrupts his class and turns his attention to Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. Kreese scornfully dismisses Mr. Miyagi's request that his students leave Daniel alone and order Daniel to fight Johnny immediately. Mr. Miyagi wants the odds to be more even for Daniel and suggests that Daniel and the Cobra Kai's match up at the All Valley Karate Tournament a few weeks from then. Kreese likes the challenge and agrees. He also agrees to order his students to not to bother Daniel until the tournament.
Nobody touches the prima donna until the tournament.
All right. Mr. Miyagi takes Daniel to his home to begin his training. Out in the front of the house are a dozen classic American cars. Mr. Miyagi tells Daniel that they'll have to make a pact. Mr. Miyagi will instruct Daniel to not question his method. When Daniel agrees, Mr. Miyagi hands Daniel a sponge and orders him to wash and wax all the cars. Mr. Miyagi's instructions are very specific. Daniel will only use the sponge and waxing cloth by moving his hands and arms in a wide circle. He will also breathe deeply and through his nose and mouth. In the weeks that follow, Mr. Miyagi gives Daniel further chores to complete, with similar instructions on techniques. Standing a walkway that leads around Mr. Miyagi's backyard landscape, standing the fence around the surrounding property. With each new chore, Daniel becomes frustrated and seems lack of any karate training, and Mr. Miyagi minimal praises of his work. One night, after finishing the painting of Mr. Miyagi's house, Daniel expressed his frustration to the teacher. Mr. Miyagi tells Daniel to show him how to wash and polish the car. When Daniel tells him his shoulder aches too much, Mr. Miyagi uses acupressure to relieve the tension and orders Daniel to show him the motions he'd been using to do chores. Daniel quickly realizes that the chores were also practiced for defense moves. Exercise to build muscle tone. His reflexes and proper breathing techniques. After a few minutes of practice, Mr. Miyagi suddenly yells and throws several punches and kicks at Daniel, all of which Daniel blocks easily. Mr. Miyagi also shows Daniel how to bow to his opponent, making sure Daniel looks the opponent in the eyes, both for defense and to convey respect. There you go. So that was all the chores. That could have been in the montage that we talked about. They could have just done that all in montage.
Yeah, and that would have saved. Well, no, I think you had to have some of that instruction there because I think I didn't realize it when I was a kid, but now that I'm older, you realize he's teaching blocking movements when he's doing that.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch that when I was
While
like
also
6.
getting his cars waxed.
I mean, I did when I was a
So
kid.
are you saying that it was
a bit
slave
older.
labor? Is that what you're inferring there?
I don't think you paid him.
He did. He paid him by teaching him karate. That was a business transaction. He got his cars washed, his house painted, his deck sanded, and his.
I have to say, I think Daniel
fence
got
painted,
the low end on the
but
stick
he
on
learned
that, though.
he learned karate.
I mean that.
So that's straight up a business transaction.
See, here's the problem. Like, if you follow the entire thing, though, he does fly him out to Japan later.
No, he doesn't. Daniel pays for that.
Like, not in number 3. Mr. Miyagi took him.
And number 2, when they go to Japan,
Yeah,
he
whatever.
pays for his ticket.
I don't think he paid for it.
He did. He used his college tuition money.
I don't think so. That kid wasn't going to college.
Go watch the second one.
He ain't smart enough. Anybody's trying to fight 5 people ain't fucking smart.
But yeah, so I think it's a business transaction, and I don't think you could have done a montage there. I think you could have shortened some of it up and trimmed a couple minutes here and there, but I don't think you could have turned that into a montage.
I think you could have.
I think the montage later on where he's doing the moves at the beach and on the boat and everything, I think that was kind of wasted and too much. You hadn't gotten to that part yet,
No, we
have
haven't
you?
gotten there yet.
Okay. But yeah, I think that part could have been shortened or cut out completely.
Gotcha.
But anyway, go ahead.
All right, Daniel goes on his first official day with Allie. When he arrives, driven by his mom at Allie's house, he finds that Allie's parents are quite wealthy and live in Beverly Hills. Daniel is incredibly nervous and embarrassed, especially when his mom's car stalls and they have to, it says push start, but pop the clutch. However, the day with Allie is enjoyable and his embarrassment dissolves. Y'all ever had to pop a clutch on a car?
No.
No.
Yeah, I have. Old truck I had.
Yeah, I had an older truck and all, and it was literally like every other day I had to pop the clutch to get to go.
So I would do it. I had a battery that was going dead, and if it sat for too long, I'd have to push start it. Now, I did have to do it to a motorcycle a few times.
I think I was just like a cheap college student at the time. So
Didn't want to buy a battery.
I didn't want to buy a battery. So it was just like when I found out you could pop a clutch, I was like, oh, hell. Not realizing you probably done a ton of damage to that car from doing that.
Not really.
I don't know, man. I feel like you. It'd be a lot like grinding the gears.
No, because it's still moving. You're not. It's not
know.
grinding it. No, I had to do it on my motorcycle over at Steven's house one night. I didn't realize the battery was going dead because I used to keep it on a battery tender in the garage, but that battery was like 6 years old. So I rode over to his house one night, and we're hanging out. It was before I knew you, we knew you, and I go out there and I get on the bike and it goes click. Shit! We had to push that big heavy bastard up the hill.
Oh.
Yeah, turn it around.
Get it rolling back down the hill.
Get it rolling back down the hill so I could pop the clutch and get it started up.
So
And I'm just sitting there praying the entire time on the ride home. Please God, don't let me stall.
So this truck I had, it was a old Ford Ranger, and when you open up the hood, it has tagged on it. It says this vehicle is not equipped with an AC unit, so it didn't even have AC in it. It also didn't have power steering to it either.
Awesome.
What year was this?
Oh man, 89, 1990, maybe somewhere around there.
Ranger with
Ford Ranger, yeah.
Without power
seriously.
steering. I
It
believe
didn't have
it.
power steering, but it didn't have the AC unit. It had a big gap, like right there in where the AC unit would be at.
Where you could put one in.
Yeah, I guess you could put one in, but it had a sunroof to it, and of course it was just your regular cab, so the back window slit. So you just roll down.
Did you have
windows
your? Did they have the little?
It was bench seat.
Little smoker windows, the ones.
Yeah, the one in the back. Yeah.
No, not
I
that.
just
Oh
found-
no,
the
no,
triangle ones that.
No, it didn't have that. It had you had to roll down the windows manually.
I just find it funny
obviously.
thinking of like a Ranger with a fucking sunroof.
Yeah, it had something.
Yeah, and no air
No, that
conditioning.
wasn't in there initially. It was put in.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I was about to
it
say,
got
like,
itself.
that
It was
doesn't seem like-
this was a hand me down truck and all. So I guess whoever
Somebody doctored it up.
Somebody
a
had
little
it
bit.
before.
some meth head.
my
went-
brother had it before me. Not a meth head. He had it before me. I guess he realized like this damn thing is too hot, so he put in a little sunroof and all that.
Do y'all remember the old little triangle windows that would open out?
Yeah,
that-
you fucking turn them sideways.
Yeah.
Get some air coming through.
My point is this: is it was a stick shift. So when you were up on a hill at a stop, and you had to turn like to the left, and it has no power steering. Can you imagine? Like you're putting it. A lot of times, there was so many times I got pulled over a couple of times for this. There was so many times when I knew I was coming to a hill and there's a stop sign. I just said, "Okay, I'm just gonna go." And I was just like kind of slowly rolling, kept going with it and all because I was like, "There's no way." Like I'm gonna
How
start
many
rolling
cops gave you a
backwards.
pass on that?
2. I got twice.
How many of them give you tickets?
Yeah.
I never got a ticket. I got passed twice. Yeah.
That's pretty generous.
Yeah, but it was like
I wouldn't
it
have
was
been
a
that
pain
nice.
because you're trying to put it in gear and at the same time make a turn, and it's like a lot of work to do that. It was a major pain in the butt. But it was my brother's old truck. Nice little truck.
Well, when you had come to like a stop, when they pulled you over, did you ask them to like help you pop the clutch and get it?
No, I tried.
Because that would have gotten you out.
I know
Hey,
one that-
hey, when you're done, give me this ticket. Will you help me get it started again?
I know one of the times I tried to argue with him and say, "No, dude, I stopped back there. What do you mean?" Like, I was like, "Dude, I came to a stop." He was like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "Yeah, I did, man. I did. I came to a stop."
I got pulled over. This was years ago before I was a police officer. I got pulled over for. The officer said I ran a stop sign, but it was a yield sign. It was I was making a right turn, and there was a yield sign there, and
Yeah, to yield to oncoming traffic.
there was
which
no
means you had to
traffic.
Stop if
He
there
was a
traffic
fucking
coming.
half mile down the road.
Was there a squirrel crossing the road? If there was a
I have
squirrel
no
crossing the road,
idea.
that's traffic.
But he pulls me over and says,
Or it
"You
could have
ran
been
that."
Daniel on his bicycle.
He said, "You ran that stop sign back there," and I said, "No, sir, I didn't. I turned right. It's a yield sign." He goes, "No, it's a stop sign." I said, "Sir, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. I don't typically argue with police officers, but that's a yield sign. I live down there. I know. I drive that road every day. And I think it's a stop sign." I said, "Sir, here's my license. Here's my keys. I'm not going anywhere if you want to go back and look, but it's a yield sign." So, and some bitch took my driver's license and took my keys and went half mile back up the road and comes back and goes, "You have a good day, Mr. Stokes."
Well, better than getting a ticket.
Right?
Be like, fight it in court.
All right. In the weeks that follow, Mr. Miyagi has Daniel work on his defensive techniques and learn physical balance by staying in a rowboat and trying to stay upright on the surf on the ocean. When Daniel comes out of the water, he sees Mr. Miyagi standing on a post down at the beach. Mr. Miyagi is practicing a move where he lifts his arms and one leg, but kicks with the other. When Daniel asks him what the move is, Mr. Miyagi calls it the crane technique, saying that if it's performed properly, an opponent will have no defense.
That's not what he says. You better quote him.
That's what this thing says. So you're gonna have to tell him what it actually says.
He's supposed to have watched the movie.
Yeah, but I didn't.
I did
so.
watch the movie. All right. What does he say?
No,
Exactly.
You do it. You watched it last night.
I did watch it last night. I can't remember the exact word that he said on it.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. I didn't make it to this part. I
my
quit when he had to like start waxing the car.
You going to say the part?
I'm not.
What is it? What the fuck is he saying?
I will say this. It's not Mr. Miyagi doing those kicks up on the thing. Obviously. He can't do them. It's actually a guy that's in the movie is a professional Taekwondo instructor, and he's the actual guy who, at the end of the movie, whenever they're doing the match and all that, he's the
Right.
one that kind of choreograph.
So I'm going to
choreographed the part.
Yes.
say this about
So, and it's him wearing a wig, sitting on it with some baggy clothes, doing the kicks.
the guy playing Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita.
Yes.
Everybody knew him
Happy Days.
from Happy Days
Yes.
before this movie.
Yeah, Arnold.
But I didn't know about Happy Days until after I'd seen this originally. So whenever I'm watching Happy Days, I'm sitting there going, "It's Mr. Miyagi." So I did it backwards. That for some reason that stuck with me.
Yep. Back in Mr. Miyagi's pickup truck, there are a couple of drunk men who have placed their empty beer bottles on the fender. Mr. Miyagi politely asks them to take them off. When the man refused and insult Mr. Miyagi's Japanese heritage, Mr. Miyagi suddenly chops the top of the bottles with a slice of his bare hand. The men quickly remove the bottles and leave. Which that was the first time Mr. Miyagi had ever done that. First time.
I read somewhere that those balls were actually made of. I mean, it's obviously not glass.
Sugar.
Yeah,
it
probably is sugar.
I think that might have been what it was actually, like sponge sugar or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most things that are, glass and movie that
break,
it's
on
sugar.
somebody. Yeah, it's sugar.
Well, you ever seen? So I don't know why I thought of this. You watch the movies where somebody busts a beer bottle over somebody's head.
Yeah, it's probably the same deal. It's probably sugar.
No, I'm saying, have you ever seen somebody get hit with a beer bottle in real life?
It don't crack like that.
That some bitch does not shatter like that.
Everybody thinks it's going to do it.
Now,
It very well might kill the person that gets hit,
I had
or at least give them a concussion.
I had a couple fraternity brothers back in college that were bouncers over at the Highlands. Back when that was a very popular establishment. And
I remember Highlands.
yeah, there's one. I'll tell you, a lot of people called him Silverback because of his sheer size. Like,
Jeez.
yeah. So his big party trick was like he would have a beer bottle. He'd drink the beer, and you'd put water back into it to a certain level, and then he would hit the top
I've
going
seen that.
down,
Mhm.
and it turns very much into a stabbing utensil.
Yeah, it blows the bottom out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
You
Speaking
can't.
of that,
I can do that.
And you can't. I'll give you 3 tries. I bet you can't do it.
I've done it before.
I will
with
give
a-
you 3
with a-
tries. What do you want to bet?
I've done it with a Bud Light bottle before.
All right, $5 says you can't do it. 3 tries.
3 tries. I fill the bottle up.
We'll see it.
Dude, it's physics.
Yeah, but you're not smart enough to do it without looking it up. So
I've done it before.
you don't get to look it up. You just have to do it.
I've done it before.
Okay, good for you. But I bet you don't get it in 3 tries.
I'll bet you I do. Anyway,
I'll tell you this. I used to be that douche that would take like my beer bottle, and whenever somebody would just open up theirs, I'd take it and just hit the top.
you were that asshole.
I was that asshole. Be like, "What's up, man?" Like that, and just walk off.
God, that used to be so popular in college because you'd sit there. If you were fast enough, you could save it.
Yeah, you
'Cause
gotta hurry up.
They'd pop it. If you were fast enough, you could
Yep.
and get it down to a level where it didn't just you lost half your damn beer.
Yeah.
But did y'all do that shit in your sorority?
No, my fraternity brothers did not do that.
That's a pretty messed up thing to
Yeah. Plus, I was more drinking out of a can typically.
That's
do.
fair.
Walking around with like a case of beer.
It is easier to smuggle cans into a theater than a bottle. I will say that.
Yeah, I can see that.
We,
All right, ready?
yeah.
All right, Allie asked Daniel to meet her up for another date.
I don't know. If you had to take one, would you rather have like a beer bottle up the ass or a beer can up the ass?
Probably the bottle. Smoother.
It's also longer,
Yeah. And it starts off small,
but
and gets bigger.
it is tapered. So
It depends on which side it's going in. It could be like you've done all the hard work and then it's easy taking the last part.
Jesus.
Just saying.
I'm trying to figure out what's popping up on my phone right now.
I don't know, but keep going. I want to just move past this segment.
Oh, God. Let's see here. Okay. Daniel goes to Ellie's parents' club where he sees Ellie dancing with Johnny. When Johnny spots Daniel, he forces Ellie to kiss him, which angers Ellie. Daniel, ashamed, goes to leave and runs into a waiter who spills a tray of food on him, drawing laughter from everyone who sees the accident. Ellie, furious, punches Johnny and leaves, which Daniel does not see happen. Later that night at Mr. Miyagi's house, Daniel finds him drunk and dressed in his army sergeant uniform. Mr. Miyagi shows Daniel a picture of his late wife and has Daniel drink a toast with him. After a few minutes, Mr. Miyagi passes out in his bed and Daniel covers him with a blanket to let Mr. Miyagi go to sleep. Daniel finds an army document stating that Mr. Miyagi's wife and child had died during birth. at the relocation camp for a Japanese American in California. Didn't know that part.
Oh, he was interned, huh?
Yep. Daniel also discovers that Mr. Miyagi is a war hero, having been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Before leaving, Daniel bows to his teacher, show him respect. Okay,
I'd keep going.
All right, more time passes, and Daniel continues to train, often alone. He also practices Mr. Miyagi's crane kick at the beach. Mr. Miyagi also teaches Daniel how to punch. Daniel's 18th birthday comes around. There you go.
Does it say 18th?
Yeah, Daniel's
Okay.
18th birthday comes around.
No, that's wrong because this is the All Valley under 18 karate tournament, so he can't be 18.
I
Or
think.
is it 18 and under?
No, it was under 18.
Okay, well, I mean, I think his entry was at a time where he could do it, so I'll allow it.
He may enter before he was 18.
I think that's wrong because it's
Right.
the All Valley under 18 karate tournament.
So, were you a minor when your uncle passed out in your bed, Tucker? No. Okay.
All right.
So you were major at that point.
All right. He has a cake with Mr. Miyagi, who he also showed Mr. Miyagi that he passed his driver's test. Mr. Miyagi gives Daniel a Japanese robe with the embroidery of a bonsai tree sewn into the back. Mr. Miyagi's other present is one of the cars he had Daniel wash and wax, a yellow 1948 Ford Super Deluxe. He tells Daniel to go out and find the balance in his life, realizing that he has confidence and to pursue his relationship with Allie. Daniel drives to a local hangout, the arcade, and finds Allie, intending to confront her about kissing Johnny. She mostly ignores him until Allie's friend Susan explains that Johnny had kissed her only to humiliate Daniel, and that Allie had hurt her wrist while hitting Johnny. Daniel apologizes to Allie, and she accepts. He takes her out for a drive in his new car. You think that's all they did in the new car? Because, I mean, that was some serious, tongue action. In that kiss.
Yeah, he was trying to swallow
There was
her
some
face.
space in that back seat. I'm just saying.
There was a lot of space.
Not unlike your Mustang.
Unlike my mistake. Yeah, I mean, there had to be a little bit more. I mean, that was a deep kiss he put on her there, you know? All right.
Yeah, but you learn from Rocky, women weaken the legs, so he shouldn't have been doing anything right the day before the karate tournament.
Oh.
Maybe that's why.
But
maybe that's
then
why he was able
again-
to win, because that's an old wives' tale.
But then again, you got to admit that, your first time for you, Tucker, a girl. We're talking about a girl. First time with a girl.
Not your sister.
Your first time with a girl, your confidence changes compared to what it was before.
I mean, she had the best 6 seconds of her life.
No, but your confidence, not
Oh, absolutely.
it changes completely. Your demeanor and everything changes after your
absolutely.
first time. So I can imagine that it probably did him a lot. If they did, it probably did better for him.
So you're saying that the fact that he got his cherry popped
The
boosted
night
his
before.
confidence.
Yes.
And that's why he performed so well in the tournament.
Probably so. He probably would have been more of a coward if not.
He hadn't been a coward for most of the movie, so.
Really?
I don't know. I wouldn't call him a coward.
He cowers away from him.
He ran away from him.
He fails to confront them at
five
school.
on one. Multiple.
Those guys were there to witness a one-on-one fight. I'm just saying.
No, I'm sure.
I think so too. I think they would have left it alone for him and Johnny to go at it.
Because I think they trusted Johnny to probably be able to hold his own, being a black belt.
And let's really face it, even after being told that Johnny and them were going to leave him alone, he still makes sure to grab that teacher whenever they're walking by, and he grabs a teacher to tell him about the history class or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
He was making sure that there was somebody else around.
No, he was
So
trying
still
he was
partial.
trying to fuck with them. He wasn't trying to.
I don't know. I still think he grabbed that.
He
teacher.
wasn't interested. He wanted his buddies to get, or not his buddies. He wanted those guys to get sucked into a boring ass lecture from the teacher, and he was going to walk off.
I don't know.
That's what he was trying to do there.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he grabbed that teacher for a different reason.
I think so too. Probably just to get a cheap feel on the teacher.
Maybe so.
Sexual predator, Daniel LaRusso.
All right, let's get to the tournament. On the day of the tournament, Allie and Daniel's mom join him. At the registration desk, that didn't happen. At the registration desk, the official asks what degree of belt Daniel had attained. Mr. Miyagi tells the register that Daniel is a black belt and slyly steals the official's belt from his bag, giving it to Allie. In the locker room while dressing, Daniel is confronted by some of the Cobra Kai's lead Cobra Kai guys, mainly Dutch, one of Kreese's top-ranked students. One of the referees ordered the Cobra Kai's to get out and leave him alone. In one of the tournament rings, Daniel squares off and beats his first opponent. He continues to advance, much to his own surprise. In the higher rounds, Daniel faces off against some of the Cobra Kai's. When Daniel defeats Tommy and Dutch, Kreese orders Bobby to use an illegal kick to deliberately injure Daniel's knee, take him out of the competition. Even through disgust and all, Bobby complies, severely injuring Daniel and getting disqualified in the process. Daniel is taken to the locker room where a medic tells him he won't be able to finish the competition. Daniel is devastated, but Allie and Daniel's mom and Mr. Miyagi all tell him that he made his point and further fighting isn't necessary. However, after both women have left, Daniel asks Mr. Miyagi to use acupressure to fix his knee. Though Mr. Miyagi initially reiterates his mom's comments that Daniel has nothing left to prove, Daniel insists he will never be able to achieve his life balance if he knows his tormentors have gotten the best of him. Mr. Miyagi agrees and partially heals Daniel's leg.
So where in the movie does it say he uses acupressure?
That's just what he's doing.
Or is
that's what it is.
Is it, or is it
Yeah, it is.
Japanese?
I think it is. He gets his heat in his hands or whatever.
Japanese hoodoo.
And then he puts it in and he pushes pressure. That's what it is.
Yeah, fuck it.
You'll go with that?
I didn't make it this part of the movie, so I'll allow it.
All right, so let's talk about let's talk about that kick from Bobby real quick. You hadn't gotten to his final fight with Johnny yet,
no,
right?
Not yet.
Okay, so this movie came out in 1984. So if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what to tell you. Watch the fucking movie because I'm going to give you a spoiler here. How is it that Bobby gets disqualified for kicking Daniel in the knee, but Johnny doesn't get disqualified for trapping his leg and driving his elbow down on the outside of his knee?
Maybe the rules say no leg kicks.
I'm just saying you can
as someone who's watched as many MMA fights as you have.
Yes,
leg kicks are dangerous.
Leg kicks.
Well,
but they're
because if he checks it right, I mean, like
you can break it.
Yeah,
but trapping somebody's kick and then bringing your elbow down on the outside of their knee is a good way to tear an ACL.
Yeah, it's all right. This is the 80s. They don't know about ACLs yet.
I'm just saying, it seems to me like both of those techniques are equally dangerous and equally shitty. So they should have both been disqualified for that.
Well,
maybe because it's
a shitty fucking martial art. What's your point?
Maybe because it's the final round. You know what I mean?
It's just bad sportsmanship, though. I mean, you can make the argument that go
ahead and try and make an argument for it.
Let's go ahead and get this part out of the way. That way it's done with it. Daniel returns to the ring moments before Johnny is about to be named winner by default. Needing 3 contact points to win, both square off, and after several tense rounds, the score is tied at 2 each. Daniel tries a high kick, which is caught by Johnny, who, under orders from Kreese, plants an elbow in Daniel's injured knee. Daniel, despite being in pain, is undeterred and lines up for the final round.
Hey, I just want to make a point real quick. I'm very, very proud of you for getting undeterred right on the first try because I don't think Steven would have done that.
He takes up, and I didn't even read over this to start off with.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He takes up the crane technique pose, and with an approving look from Mr. Miyagi, waits for Johnny to make his move. Daniel kicks out with his leg and connects with Johnny's chin, scoring a 3rd point and winning the match and title. As he's carried around on the shoulders of the other competitors, Johnny congratulates him and hands him the championship trophy. Daniel celebrates his trophy and sees Mr. Miyagi nearby smiling. That's the end of it. So he catches the leg.
Yeah, so he catches a leg and he drops that elbow down into it, which is very dangerous.
Well,
I just don't see how you don't get disqualified for that. Now you can make the argument that sweeping the leg while it was a low down technique was legal, and it was legal to do that, even though it was kind of shitty.
Why would that be shitty?
Because your teammate deliberately injured his leg in the round before, and you're attacking it.
now, here's the thing.
I mean, do you fight to win?
Yes.
If you're going to a competition and like you watch somebody like pretty much have like their shoulder torn out of socket, would you not go for that arm? This is competition now.
No, I get it. It's competition.
Tell me you wouldn't. Try and lie to me right to my face. Look me in the eyes. Tell me you wouldn't.
No, Trey, I wouldn't do that. That doesn't
Okay.
sound like me at all.
Yeah, okay.
No, that final score
I
for
fight
him,
with honor.
was that
Yeah.
was that an actual legal point?
You talking about the crane kick?
Yes.
So here's the thing, and you hear on that video that Trey's been referencing this entire
I have
time.
not seen this fucking
You're a
video.
damn liar.
I watched How I Met Your Mother. I saw Barney Stinson talk about it.
But they say it's an illegal kick, but if you listen to Allie at the beginning of the tournament, she said anything to the chest,
Yes.
head, or sternum, or so ribs, or something like that was legal. So if he caught him with a kick under the jaw, I mean, that's part of the head. So
Yeah, but earlier he's in the match and he gets hit in the face. Daniel does, and it doesn't count as a point.
now Johnny, talking about when Johnny hits Daniel, or when Daniel like trips him and backhands him in the back of the head.
No, when Johnny hit, no, it's earlier in the match. One of the earlier matches, I think. Daniel gets punched in the face. He gets hit in the face. I think it's the first match. He's already down the 1 point, and then he runs out of the ring, and then
I don't remember him getting punched in the face. I know
gets
Johnny
punched in the
punches
face.
him
I'm
in the
gonna have to
face.
check it
I know
out.
Johnny punches him in the face in the final match,
but he doesn't get a point.
but he doesn't get a point for that.
So why is the kick a point to the face?
Well, maybe the kick was under the jaw and that it wasn't to the face.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it was under the chin, like Steven's facial. So maybe that's why it counted and Johnny's didn't.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So you feel like under the chin is a point?
Steven's the expert, so ask him.
I feel like it's an illegal kick, but you had to have the crane kick was supposed to be the big finale.
Yeah,
so.
there was foreshadowing for that earlier in the movie. So the ref called it a point. He won, and he wasn't DQ'd. So it's a legal kick.
That's an official ref too.
Yeah, it was a ref. It said
He's an actual
it had referee on his shirt.
No, but he's like an actual ref.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually does officiating.
Mustache guy?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He legit does officiating.
Okay.
Or he did. I guess he doesn't do it anymore.
One thing I thought was kind of cool was Johnny kind of chokes down his pride at the end and
Gives him a trophy.
kind of realizes, I think he's starting to realize at the end that maybe Kreese is a douchebag and he had been kind of an asshole to Daniel. So
See, I take it the other way. I'd be like, he's afraid of, the bully.
he was bigger than Daniel. He wasn't.
So you're saying like all bullies are bigger?
I'm saying Johnny and his I'm saying Johnny and his crew were the bullies in this.
I think you're mistaken.
I'm saying Johnny and his crew were the bullies.
I dare you to go back, watch this film, and approach it with the mindset
I
Daniel's the
have.
bully. No, you haven't.
I have. I will show you that YouTube video when we finish this up.
I don't care about this YouTube video.
This is
when you keep referencing.
But all right, Chris, what else you got with us, bud?
That's it. That's the end of the movie. That's how it closes out.
Okay,
It's time for ratings and review.
time for ratings and reviews.
5-beer movie. It sucked. There's no person who's been training for 3 months washing cars and painting a house. There's no fucking way he's going to win a tournament.
So, are you reviewing this on the movie's merits or nostalgia? I mean, it's your review, it's your rating, so do with what you will.
I'm a realist.
You're a realist, okay.
I'm a realist. Which is why I was so taken aback the other day when everyone attacked me in that Facebook thread.
I don't know what
I
you're
don't
talking
know
about.
it-
Facebook
yeah, I don't know
thread. I
either.
don't have Facebook, so
I mean, like Stephen and Haley were going in hard on me.
You don't have
I have-
Facebook no more? Did you get put in Facebook jail?
my account got permanently disabled, so I don't have Facebook anymore.
Who permanently disabled it?
Facebook.
Why?
Somebody hacked my account
Oh, okay.
and apparently shared something really, really bad. And
Oh,
Facebook,
yeah, you told us about that. That's
Facebook
right.
wouldn't even let me appeal it. So
What the fuck?
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I tried to send you something the other day, and I was wondering why I couldn't send it
Facebook,
to you.
yeah, my Facebook has been permanently disabled or permanently deleted.
So you're going to have to start over?
Nope. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg, fuck Facebook, fuck Meta, because those assholes are the reasons that I lost the only pictures I had of me and my dad.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the
shit.
originals were destroyed in a house fire, so fuck Facebook.
And they can't, like, recover that for
I
you?
have,
Like,
I've emailed them, I've sent them requests through the app, I've done, so I can't get a response from them, so fuck them.
that, all right, fuck them. Yeah, that's real shitty.
Okay, so I'm going to give my rating and review now. So for me, this movie, first of all, I love this movie. It brings back childhood memories. So I good childhood memories. So I do love this movie. However, it is almost a direct ripoff of Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the karate version of Rocky. It's the feel good underdog come from behind story. Yes, a kid studying karate for 2 or 3 months, going and winning a tournament, not super realistic, but you feel good watching it. God, I thought the actors had great chemistry in this movie. William Zabka played a perfect bully. Daniel LaRusso, or Ralph Macchio did a good job of playing Daniel LaRusso, even though they were all a little old for the role at the time, because I think Elizabeth Shue was in her early 20s, so was William Zabka.
Yeah.
And I think Ralph Macchio was the youngest. He was like 18 or 19 when he filmed this. But that being said, man, you watch this movie, you just feel good. So for me, this is it's better than average. It's a beer and a half.
Beer now. Okay.
Chris?
I think this is the first time I've watched it since probably when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been meaning to watch it since Karate Kid came out, the Cobra Kai series.
The Cobra Kai series?
Yeah, I've been meaning to get around to watch it and all. It's not, it still kind of holds up a bit. It's not like it's a terrible acting in the movie. Is it the best story out there? No. I think Cobra Kai kind of helps out with the movie
agree.
a lot. You notice things in there that, places and all that you're like, that was, in the series and all, so it brings back a good stuff to it. Is it one that I'm going to watch in next year or the year after? Probably not. So this is going to go down as a 3 beer for me.
That's very middle of the road of you.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, hey, look, coming into it and all, I thought for sure I was going to give this like a 1 beer. But after watching it, I was like, I can't put it any higher than 3.
Yeah, and I watched it and I gave it 5.
Well, if you add up our scores and divide by 3, it comes out to a 3.16, which is a little worse than average.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I agree with you, Chris. I think this movie I think that the vehicles and the clothes and stuff like that are dated, but the acting is still pretty good. The story still holds up. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
And it's worth watching. And I'll probably watch it again 6-7 months.
You probably would.
I actually own it, so I probably will.
Yeah. Maybe after Cobra Kai is finally done with all their seasons, may come back to watch it again just to kind of watch everything.
Linearly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think the series has really helped keep the movies, the original movies, relevant. Because the movies are still good. And I think that if you have kids, especially boys that are going to be into this sort of stuff, they need to watch it because it's just a good movie. It's like watching the original Ninja Turtles movie. It's not the best story in the world, and it's not the best movie in the world, but it's fun.
I'd be curious to know what Google users rated it as before Cobra Kai series came out.
I'd be willing to bet it was still probably really high. It may not have been in the 90s, but it'd still be really high.
Like, how many of those people you think rewatched it or just said, "Oh, I remember that movie, it was so great, I'm going to give it this score"?
You're talking about, like, not false memory, but just
yes,
that nostalgic.
No, you're right.
Nostalgic,
it would be a false memory of it, honestly, because it was probably most of the ones who did were probably kids at that time, and just kind of remember it.
It's fair.
Just the whole, like, the lines. I mean, and then that's another thing. The lines have hold up. The wax on, wax off.
Yeah, well, I mean, you hear somebody say wax on, wax off. That's exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly.
That has become a part of I guess, the cultural zeitgeist.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's still culturally relevant, and I think that Cobra Kai has helped that a lot.
Yeah.
So, got anything else?
No, that's it. Let's close it out.
Well, Trey, buddy, it's your pick next week. Do you know what you want to do, or do you want to wait and surprise us?
I'll surprise us. I still gotta decide.
Got to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll figure that out, and we'll be back next week. Until then, I'm Tucker with Chris and Trey, and this has been another episode of The Guys Review.
Fuck you, Al.
Got him at the end.